psyched to see me. I'm psyched to see you now. Lately I've been down, but when we hang around, it's not so bad at all. Everybody laughs, everybody cries. It's not so bad at all. Everybody laughs, everybody cries. It's not so bad at all. Act like you're psyched to see me. I'm psyched to see you now. Oscar, lately I've been down, but when we hang around, it's not so bad at all. Everybody laughs, everybody cries. It's not so bad at all. Everybody laughs, everybody cries. It's not so bad at all. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Should have had that going. That's kind of like the Captain and Tennille version of You Won't See Me. This song, like, the truth be told, I knew the Captain and Tennille's version of You Won't See Me before I knew the Beatles version. And also, just so you know, this isn't my StageIt like outfit. I wear the same thing a lot, and that's just the way I am. It's from years of touring. As a touring musician, you got to be conscious of not changing your clothes every day, staying, keeping your hygiene presentable, so you can walk amongst the normals. But you can't be changing your shirt every day. That's gonna bog everybody. It's gonna bog down the show. It's gonna bog down the traveling show. Anyway, but since I'm not traveling and I'm static here, I hope I'm not coming off as a bum, okay, or someone who thinks that this is like appropriate stage wear. It's kind of not. But anyway, yeah, I heard the Captain and Tennille's version of You Won't See Me by the Beatles before I knew the Beatles version. So I was shocked when I heard the Beatles version and how stripped down it was and how clear the parts were. And with Captain and Tennille, they did have that the Captain, he had this crazy synth collection, so there's lots of synth going on in the bottom, but that's kind of cool doing it that way. To that. It's kind of fun. All right, what else do I want to play for you? I want to continue with Hang On Mike. Hello everybody, welcome to StageIt. Again, this is show number 8, and actually, the second to last show featuring, hey Yoshi, I got the feed on today because there's only like 12 of you watching, so I feel like I can handle that. It's not going to distract me too much. But he says as he's thoroughly distracted. This is the third of 4 shows that I'm going to be digging into Hang On Mike. I feel like I've fallen a little short on my promise to like delve in and do like bonus tracks and stuff, or like I also talked about maybe doing covers that inspired the record, and maybe the first show I did, but I think the reason why I've fallen short on that, as I kind of confessing it to you now, is the stories about the songs that I'm playing actually take up a lot of real estate within the show, and I think you guys enjoy the stories, so I don't want to just not tell the stories. The show is very short, it's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes if I have the time, but it's usually 30 minutes. So I'm just going to carry on and play another song. But before I do, I want to talk about Captain and Tennille for one more minute, because there are sounds on this record that were totally inspired by the Captain. Kiss Alive 2, which I played last week. I can play it now too, just for the hell of it. About the funniest guy I know, sad to see you go, so glad we made it, so glad we stayed friends after all. PV amps and rototones butchered our favorite songs. No harm in trying, we had fun trying after all. I gave you Benny and the Jets, you gave me Kiss Alive 2. I gave you Benny and the Jets, you gave me Kiss Alive. Down in the basement after school, girlfriends by the pool, so sure we'd make it, looks like we made it after all. I gave you Benny and the Jets, you gave me Kiss Alive 2. I gave you Benny and the Jets, you gave me. My friend Todd, it's not another day for you. You've got a little girl to show who the world belongs to, and I'm so proud of you now. That's straight up Captain right there, man. Right? This stuff too. So glad whoops, we made it. Whoops. So glad we stayed friends after all. So, love the Captain, and he influenced that song for sure. As did, Elton John and Kiss and stuff. Here's another one that's completely influenced by the Captain. So yeah, we're on a Captain tear, I guess. I didn't prepare myself for a Captain tear. I didn't. So, but I guess I don't need to be prepared for a Captain tear. Captain tears just happen. I'm gonna try using sustain on this one. Bad idea. Here we go. You might think that we're not ready yet. You might think that we should get a bit. Let me play it on here. You might think that we're not ready yet. You might think that we should get a pet. You might think, but don't think. Let's have a baby. I might think my hair's a little gray. I might think I'll be too old to play blue or pink, swim or sing. Let's have a baby. Ooh, Yeah. You might say we just don't have the space. They might say New York is not the place. You don't say, but I say let's have a baby. Ooh, baby. Whoa, baby. Yeah, baby. Sadie, Chloe, Sammy, or Max, a million children in a baby sack. Sadie, Chloe, Sammy, or Max, a million children with a baby. Sadie, Chloe, Sammy, or Max, children in a baby sack. Tristan, Evan, Lily, Zoe, or Jack, children in a baby sack. Chillin' in a baby sack, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, Ginger Snap, you know what I'm talking about now. Little Oscar and the baby snap, yeah. Little Oscar and the baby, little Oscar and the baby sack, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Chillin' with the baby. It's really hard to play these little keys. I don't know if you can see from your perspective. This is a little keyboard. These keys are smaller than the normal size keys. He makes excuses, but it's hard to do like pinky stuff. Anyway. That's Let's Have a Baby. Yeah, that song was written I'm thinking about that one now. Like Audrey and I were, we were married, and we were in that place where like we were the first. I mean, the song says it all. There's not too much to explain about it, but I felt old, you know, and I felt like, am I gonna be able to play with a kid? And I know some of you are older parents, and you know what that concern is about, and. You know, I have Josephine's only 17 months now, you know, but I'm a hell of a parent. I am. I'm very involved, and none of it's a sacrifice in my eyes. It's all I just gained so much from it, without even knowing I needed the gain that I'm gaining, if you know what I mean. But anyway, Let's Have a Baby was sort of like, let's do it, odd, and yeah. It's funny because it came back to bite me in the ass years later when Audrey and I were having tons of trouble because marriage, as I've said before, is horrible. I mean, marriage is horrible. It's so hard, and like his life is hard and life is horrible, and it's all great, and of course, you know, it's buffered with moments of pure joy and heavenly bliss. But in those moments of up, down, and out, when couples are, you know, just like at loggerheads with each other. I was singing this song, rehearsing it for a show or something, and we weren't getting along at all, and she really wanted to have another baby, and I was like, I can't have another baby if, like, I don't like you, you know, and you don't like me, and we're not getting along. And she's like, yeah, I see your point. And then I was playing this in the dining room, and she turned the corner. I remember this so clearly. She's like, are you fucking with me? Like, are you just being a jerk? I'm like, oh no, I'm just rehearsing this song I wrote a long time ago to you. Right, yeah. Maybe this does seem like I'm being a jerk. But, I don't know. I wasn't. Alright, moving on from Let's Have a Baby. Or actually, Let's Have a Baby was co-opted by the Regis and Kathy Lee. That's how long ago this record came out. The Regis and Kathy Lee show as a bumper. So it was used every episode as a bumper. If you don't know what a bumper is, it's like it's a little piece of music that it's like, we'll be right back after this message, and then it'll be like, then it would go like that, and then it would go to a commercial. commercial. But it's cool. I get paid for that. That was nice. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Let's talk a little bit about... I'm going to sit at this Wurlitzer for a few more songs, I think. Okay. I'm going to move on to a song called Superkid. Superkid's a funny tune because as much as I'd like to speak lightly about this song or, you know, talk about how, yeah, it's a song about me when I was a little kid playing guitar and you know, how interesting and weird it was. But it's actually, it's a song, like, it's just that put a nail in the coffin of the old child me. That I feel like was misrepresented for sure, and I didn't have my own voice because I was only, you know, I was a little teenager, but it did its damage that I definitely have undone by writing the song for sure. But I didn't set out to write the song with that in mind, with any kind of like self-help in mind. It was more because I just thought it was really an awesome word, Superkid. And then where that word came from is there was a show called Superkids, and I'm pretty sure it was a regional show in Boston, and it was like a magazine type show, and it was on, I'm pretty sure every night or once a week, I think every night. And it was like right before Evening Magazine, if you guys can remember that, in the 70s, in the 80s. And it was, you know, but it was like little stories, like, you know, life stories of kids that did things that were kind of special. And I was featured on one of the shows. And I didn't get really much from it at all as far as like exposure or anything like that. But what I did get is awesome footage that I still have. And some of it's on ilovemv.com. But whatever isn't there will be soon, because Scott Gage has he's the keeper of all of the archive. Yeah, Robin Young. That's right, Robin Young. Anyway, so I got the title from that program I was on, and let me let it rip. And behind the smoke that filled the stage, dressed in the clothes his mother made, playing a guitar that was bigger than him. He really packed them in. His songs were so catchy, yeah, yeah. Left us all behind. His childhood sweetheart loved him so. She was at almost every show, packed in a van his father drove. You should have seen them go. His brother was a roadie, yeah, 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 yeah. Superkid, I think I last saw Superkid. end it right there, saying that that is probably the most Captain and Tennille I've ever gotten. And I got a little bit, a memory came flooding back to me that I hesitate to share because it's super personal, but you know, it's a part of the story, I guess, of the continuing story of these songs, meaning that, you know, these songs were written not for a specific purpose. They define their own purpose, and they keep surprising me as I grow older and as I evolve as an artist and as I evolve as a man. And as these songs, I let them evolve. I don't keep them frozen in time. So, like, you know, I play them different, I sing them different. Words that came from my subconscious start to, like a Polaroid, they start to develop, right? And I start to understand the meaning of what I was saying, because I don't write songs. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I write songs from the front of my brain. Not that I know exactly where the ideas come from in a specific sense. I just like to, you know, the back of my head, meaning, you know, stuff I'm not really thinking of. The front of my brain, I guess, meaning like, gotta pick Isabel up from school, or, you know, I've got, you know, 6 minutes left until the encore, stuff like that. But most of the stuff's from the back of the brain. And anyway, so these songs evolve, and their meaning evolves for me as I grow older. And so I wrote this record and did this record, and my mom was sick at the time. And she had a lung disease that didn't seem too severe, or it didn't really seem that scary. And I wrote her this song, Charlie, because, like, she had to finally slow down because she moved really fast. I run hot. My metabolism's hot, and I'm not hyper. I just, when I'm focusing, I have laser focus. That's really what it is, on something that I don't even know what I'm focusing on, if you know what I mean. It's like, definitely like this artist dilemma, I think. Anyway, my mom had that, but she had artist inclinations, but she was, actually at one point in my life, I discovered like a couple novels that she had written, and they were like just buried in her closet. And I never took to reading them because she wouldn't let me. And when she died, they mysteriously disappeared. I don't know where they are. But anyway, so she was sick, and then it started to get really bad. And anyway, I wrote this song for her, Charlie, just sort of like to, you know, I love you, Mom. I'll cover that song next week. But anyway, when she was it became clear that she was going to die. And she was like, and I don't know, you know, she said to me, you know, you have songs to leave behind and stories, and, you know, I don't really have anything left behind, you know, to leave behind to tell my story. I was like, well, you have 3 sons, and but if it's really, and she has a legacy of like being an amazing person. She touched a lot of people, and saved a lot of people's lives in small ways and in very, very large, important ways. So anyway, but I said, look, if you wanna, if it's something you like physically just want to do, like, why don't you you know, write a journal? She's like, well, that's not my thing. And it's like, okay, well, I'll buy you a journal, and you can keep it by your bed. Maybe you could, like, a dream journal. Like, you'd be surprised once you start writing, like, if you don't get hand cramps. You have to, once you get past the hand cramps and the fear of you know, letting it all out, it's pretty therapeutic, and you'll find some stuff there. So anyway, after she died, she never showed me the thing, and after she died, I'm going through her stuff. And because, you know, you got to do that. That's really hard, difficult. That's a difficult thing to do when you have to go through someone's stuff, because you realize, like, the stuff we leave behind is just so ridiculously insignificant, and we put so much emphasis on, like, little things, you know, and but it means nothing. It really doesn't. And except for the things I guess we pour our hearts into, right, or we smear our hearts all over it. And I found this book. It was the journal I had given her. And I was like, crap, I should probably open this up and read it. You know, I was afraid. I opened it, and inscribed, like, on the first page, I guess where you'd put, like, you know, a dedication or something, was the lyrics from the last verse of Superkid, which is nothing in this life's guaranteed, nothing you build can outlast me, and nothing can fool you like a dream. And then she put my name underneath it, which even now it just like completely chokes me up because that she felt like that was like a motto or like an adage that really touched her. Like it found a place in her little girl heart. You know what I mean? So that might be one of my biggest achievements ever, and I just wanted to share that. I'm gonna move over there, away from the piano. Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm gonna continue with the show. I've fulfilled my quota of Hang on Mike songs, and I guess I don't know. I'd like to play you something that's been in a pretty good space lately, you guys, and I think that when you're in a good space, it's nice to pause and kind of look back at when you weren't in such a good space, and I don't know. So this song. Stuck my fingers down my throat. Okay, so first of all, if there are people out there that don't know me, this song is supposed to be a laugh at a very difficult time. Because where there is, I feel like this is like Dr. Phil. I'm sorry, this episode's really heavy, but where there is, I don't even know who Dr. Phil is. I just know that people say that when they get heavy. He might be good, so let me know if he is. Email me, let me know. But I just mean to say that like when things are at their darkest and murkiest, right? When they're at the darkest and their murkiest, I feel like that's where the humor hits me. That's where I find humor. I hope that makes sense to you and you don't think I'm like a crazy person, but that's why I really enjoy David Lynch is a good example. Without going too deep into art, that's a pop art thing I can point to quite easily. That's why I love David Lynch. And coincidentally, my mom hated David Lynch. So. Stuck my fingers down my throat to start my day. Start my day. What a way to start my day. A runny yoke down a window pane starts my day. Let's get started. Don't blame your parents. Blame the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. We will rebuild again. We will rebuild again. In the face of my own destruction. Stuck my fingers down my throat to start my day. Start my day. What a way to start my day. A running joke that got away starts my day. Let's get started. Don't blame Kim Fowley. Blame Mr. Crowley and the REO. We will rebuild again. We will rebuild again. In the face of my own destruction. Ooh, we will rebuild again. We will rebuild again. In the face of my own destruction. apple fish. Don't be a quitter, put her in a house. Shut up, the shutter singing to her mouth. Feed her bread and butter, hit the mother load with the box cutter, slip into a mold. Don't be a quitter, don't be a quitter, don't be a quitter. Stuck my fingers down my throat to start my day. What a way to start my day. I know exactly what to do with X-Acto blades. Let's get started. Don't blame your parents, blame the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Whoa, 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 whoa. We will rebuild again. We will rebuild again. We will rebuild again. Take her on a trip, on a bungee jump. Find the fleshy switch, give her what she wants. Tell her she's a dish, take her out to dinner, candy apple fish. Don't be a quitter, put her in a house. Shut up, the shutter singing to her mouth. Feed her bread and butter, hit the mother load with the box cutter, slip into a mold. Don't be a quitter. Alright, that one's called Closet Cutter, and it's on a record called Accusto Di Perfecto, and it's also on a record called Electro Di Perfecto. Thank you guys, and yeah, I decided to re-record a bunch of songs. Here's how Accusto Di Perfecto came out. I always claim, oh, these are my new boots, aren't they great? Check it out. I always claim to not know why that record came out, but I actually do. It just occurred to me. What happened was, I was on this label called Megaforce, and they was said, oh, Record Store Day's coming up. Do you have anything that we could release? And I was like, oh, wow, really? I get to do another record? And I called my manager. He's like, yeah, totally. And so I went and I talked to Eric Summer, who's a great arranger and viola player, and his girlfriend Kate Reddish as well. And I said, do you guys want to collaborate on this thing? Our original idea was to do a Black Sabbath cover album called Sunday Bloody Sabbath, and I still want to do that, but my friend Shepard Fairey, who's an artist who did that Obama poster, he was famous for that, but he's also done really, his stuff's great if you don't know Shepard Fairey's work, but he's like, oh, I want to do the cover, and so it was all happening. We were like careening towards doing that, and then Megaforce said, would you have anything for Record Store Day? And my manager said you should do original music for that. So I went in and I did Accusto Di Perfecto in the spirit of Sunday Bloody Sabbath. Very confusing shit, I know. But anyway, what came, and then they were like, oh no, we can't, we didn't mean that we would pay for it. So basically I was making a record for free and giving it to them. And I was just like, you know what, no. So they ended up putting it out, but anyway, not for Record Store Day, and it was a different thing. But that's how that record came about. So I wanted to share this with you. Scott Gage, who is here, right there, asking trivia questions. Okay, so Scott and John Young run this fan archive called ilvmv.com. I have a very stuffed up nose. I'm not sure why. I think maybe a cat got in here. I leave the door open a lot. Anyway, so in preparation for Ghoul and inspired by his archive of my stuff, I started going through like these boxes that I got from my mother's house when she died, of mic stuff, like clippings. In it. So I have files. This is about half the files. But my idea my idea was, first I put them all in, this is like Mike Viola early press. Whoops. Right? But it's cool. It's like some of the stuff you might already have scanned. But I just wanted to share a few things from this. No, I don't want to go too deep like show and tell land. But like here's the epitome, for those of you that don't have the trading cards, here's like the epitome of Superkid. So that was what the look I was rocking. Look at that, man. Nike Cortez shoes. My mother made those clothes. And that's backstage at the Rat. And that might be 1983. Actually, I think I have the date. No, I don't. But I do, and I have a spreadsheet. Scott, you're going to be so pumped. I have the spreadsheet with all this stuff. Every gig I played, I've figured out, like, through these flyers. Hang on a second. There's a whole Kim Fowley folder. I know I'm all over the map, you guys. I'm sorry. It's hard to focus on the shit. It's like your whole life. But like, here's the magazine that there was an article. Kim Fowley was on the cover of this magazine, Musicians Magazine. And in the magazine, he talks about what it takes to be like the real thing, right? And he's so right about all of it. And I talk this way to artists I work with, because he's right. But then at the end of it, he's like, if you think you're the next big thing, send me your tape. And my mom, like, you would pick this up like we were in recording studios as kids, right? And we'd go, I'll show you, I have pictures of us in the recording studio. Because I couldn't, Ghoul, I was limited with Ghoul. I could only do 24 cards, but I have so much stuff from my mother's house. It's pretty awesome. Here we go. So it's in this. I'm really organized with this stuff too. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. So this is us in the recording studio. Check that out. That's my cousin Tommy waving. But there's me with my 404 shirt. Whoops, that distorted. Sorry. And that's us recording. And I actually called this studio. It was called Euphoria Sound Studio, to see if I could find the master tapes so I could release some of this stuff, because it's really cool. The songs are good. I know I should be playing music. So I don't care. So anyway, we were, and my mom picked up this thing, this magazine at that studio, while we were recording. And then she sent Kim Fowley the tape that we made. And he wrote me this letter, which I have. It's crazy. Well, she had. And that's the letter. And it's like, come to LA. I can't wait I'm looking forward to you and your mother coming west to California at the end of February to observe the rock and roll process, Hollywood style. Enclosed you will find a resume of my past and present music. I wish I had that. My past and present music industry victories. Amazing, right? That's amazing. So, I'm lucky I have all this, because my mom had all this. And when I'm a kid, when you're a kid, especially when you're a teenager, you're like, fuck this. You just want to get rid of it. My mom saved it. Now we have it, and I can give it to Scott, and he can put it on the archive. And I don't know what for. It's like, how cool is it that he's building this pretty complete picture of a big weirdo like me making music, that it's not popular music, but he likes it, I guess, if people like it. But okay, so here's, not to be totally self-effacing, I'm just being like, you know what I mean, if this was a Justin Bieber website, I could see doing it because it would be lucrative, but he's just doing it because he loves it, the process and the whole idea. He's a big weirdo, and I love him for it. So we used to make our own flyers, because that's the way it was back in the 80s. How cool is this flyer? See, they called me Mikey, and they said all this shit like, whatever. Mike Viola in the bottom lines. They even got my name wrong. My managers at the time made this. And then, here's another one. Mike Viola, Boston's youngest rock genius. It's like, ow, that really hurt me. Like, I couldn't go to school after that. And then, look, they took ads out in papers. I have all this stuff. Look, I'll just show you more of these things. So, The idea is to scan these online, and you can print them up. When I was in Japan recently, I went to a club in Sapporo, and this guy he collects these kind of flyers, which is an awesome thing to collect because they're really hard to find. And I'm like, I got a pile of them at home. And I sent him a stack, and he now has them in his guitar shop / cafe / venue in Sapporo. So, again, this twisted, not twisted so much, but a circuitous, meandering path that we carve out for ourselves. I think about Shirley Temple. She just popped into my brain, and talk about circuitous paths, and talk about like young success and how that woman really kept her thing together. You know? I know she was her politics might not jive with yours, and I get that. But her later years anyway, she was deeply into politics, and maybe it doesn't jive with what you believe in, but in her heyday during the Depression, she kept America smiling in ways that are surreal. And I urge you to go to YouTube and look her up. Look up her early tap dancing, and she was the first white person to ever dance with an African American in a movie. Yep, and she ate at the lunch table with Bill Robinson. He was her partner in tap dancing history. And that guy was one of the best, and she matched his every move. And maybe he lowered the bar a little bit for her because he was a gentleman. Whatever happened, it was a beautiful thing to watch, and that's a little obituary I just thought I'd throw in there. She's been on my brain lately, having 2 daughters, and also I guess with just talking about this stuff, the files. So anyway, here comes a song. This is not inspiration that I'm feeling, this restlessness and reeling. Good ideas do not fall out of thin air. Good ideas grow on trees deep in the woods. The narrator speaks, I claw and clamor and drop to my knees. I take the beating, but it wasn't meant for me. Good ideas grow on trees, inspired web, in spite of me, in honeycomb, in a skull full of angry bees. Good ideas grow on trees. Good ideas do not always let you in. Good ideas crawl under your skin, stretched like canvas over our bones. The lines are frantic and the color explodes. It's off the record. Lurch. Good ideas grow on trees. That would sound like a DJ for a minute there. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. What else I wanted to talk about? Oh, well, let me just tell you when the next show is. The next show I've set for next week on Friday. I know the days don't work for everybody, but that's what I have to do because I work nights in the studio. And or I'm performing at night somewhere. But not that often. But let's see. So, yeah, Friday at 1 o'clock next week. I'll send out an email about that. That's that announcement. What else do I have to announce? I did a masterclass last night at Cal Poly Pomona. My friend Arthur Weiner is head of the music department there, and he went ahead and hired Kelly Jones to teach a songwriting class there, which must be awesome. But anyway, she and Arthur created this thing called the Songwriting Summit, and it was me, Adam Schlesinger, and Vicky Peterson from the Bangles, David Z, who's the guy who basically created Prince. When I say created Prince, like he did all the early demos, I think probably before Prince knew his way around the studio. He was there. He also did a bunch of other stuff. You could wiki him. And we did this thing, and Blue was there. It was amazing. So we did this thing. We taught individual songwriters some stuff, and then I played a concert. And David Das, who's on here, I saw him earlier, and he was there. Thanks for coming, man. That was really cool. Yeah, Double F. It was a good thing, man. It was like it was tiring, but it was worth every ounce of energy I put into it. But yeah, so that's what I did last night. I thought, and what else? I'm playing the Mint coming up in L.A. I'm trying to do these monthly shows, right? Like I like doing these weekly StageIt gigs. They've been so much fun so far. Next month, on March 12th at 9 o'clock,